Hello, reader. Today, I am going to play author. You'll notice I'm wearing the closest thing I have to a white coat. In order to channel Mark Twain, I'm wearing the closest thing I have to a literary hat, even though my book has nothing to do with Holmes, and this hat doesn't quite fit. It's for someone with a very shallow head. I don't understand how Holmes wore it. You would think he would have a, reasonably sized brain. Today we're reading from Byuck for a little over 9 minutes. I'm going to skip the prologue, even though it is hilarious, and begin with Chapter 1, Simple Faith. Fun fact, this book went with me on a meeting with some movie people. Movie's not going to happen, I don't think. Would have been a good movie, though. Chapter 1, from Byuck, by Theric Jepson. Simple Faith. David Them had not expected to build a fence to be such a success. He had thought it was funny when they wrote it, but never imagined it would fly out of control like it did. His roommates, curses. Some people say authors should never read their own books, but leave it to the professionals. Sometimes I think they may be right. His roommate Curses thought the wild reactions were great and wanted to turn their essay into a book. Dave didn't exactly disagree, but he didn't really think they could write a book in one crazy evening like they had to build a fence. He also didn't figure that one freak hit necessarily meant there was a book market for smart, alecky, Byucky commentary. To Build a Fence reached its first audience when Curses read it at a ward party. Everyone loved it. Several of the guys asked for an electronic copy to electronically mail to their electronic friends, and before the week was out, someone had emailed Dave a copy of this hilarious new thing going around email. Remember, this is 2000, if you're coming in Chapter 1 instead of reading the prologue. By the end of the month, the Daily Universe had done an investigative report on who the authors really were. The reporter was Curse's older sister's former roommate, and the story had been Curse's idea, but the article inspired a spate of controversy over the appropriateness of the essay sentiment. For almost 3 weeks, the letters to the editor page was bogged down with wildly disparate commentary. Dave's favorite letter made the inevitable suggestion that those who want to build fences would be better off attending another university. His second favorite was a failed but heartwarming attempt to start a fence-building club. Simultaneously, both Dave and Curses started getting email from people they had never met. Apparently, their fellow students were taking the news story, looking them up in the BYU directory, and finding their email addresses. They received date offers and accolades from people who had liked the essay, and self-righteous ramblings and confused threats from those people who had not liked it. Dave had been too freaked out by the bulk of attention to write back, but Curses had used the text from the emails he received as content for the new To Build a Fence website he set up with help from the roommate Peter, a computer science major, always on the lookout for some new bait in his endless quest to attract the fairer sex to the apartment. After everything calmed down, Curses dropped the book idea, but made a suggestion that actually appealed to Dave. It seemed much easier. What about writing a play? That evening, Dave's hometown friend Martha Referee Plantry dropped by right after lacrosse practice. Her longish brownish hair was still wet from the shower. She often stopped by since Dave's apartment complex, Draftwood, was right next to the westernmost stadium. Parking was across University Avenue from Sierra de Provost, where Ref lived, right between the intramural fields and Yview. But late fall and with wet hair, all the way from campus? Dave shook his head and tut-tutted. You really shouldn't be walking around in the cold with your hair like that, Ref, he said. I told you I'd give you a ride if you needed one. Thanks, Mom, she said. Is Peter here? No. Good, then I'll come in. She walked in and whipped her wet hair so it hit Dave in the face. Hey, Curses. Curses waved. Hey, Ref, nice smack. Thanks. What are you guys up to? We're writing a play. Oh, no, about building fences? Dave shut the door and walked back into the conversation. Ha ha ha, no. What then? Actually, Curses said as he moved some papers off the red and blue plaid couch to make room for the lady. It's Dave's idea. Oh, what is this idea, Dave? The idea, Dave said, pausing to clear his throat artistically, is that there are people out to despoil the dreams and ambitions of young people, those still unjaded by the worldliness of the world. They're called pragmati. Scary. Isn't it great? Asked Curses. The play was my idea, but this pragmatic thing is fantastic. Of course, it's a love story at heart. Of course, said Ralph. Love being your expertise. When did you guys decide to write a play? Recently, but it is a love story. Also, it's a mystery. Curses glanced over his shoulders, then whispered, We know all about mysteries. Dave sat down on the floor across from Curses and Rev. It's terrifying mystery, too. I don't know who's actually part of the Pragmati and who's just been brainwashed by their soul-stealing antics, propaganda, and whatnot, but I do know that their power on campus is strong. Take a look at the letters to the editor page. Rev gave Dave a look and uncrossed her arms. Is this a play about BYU? And wouldn't secret combinations be against the honor code? Yes, and good question. I don't think they're specifically mentioned. Curses? Not that I can remember. But there must be some sort of other category it would fall under. You would think so, Dave gasped. Unless the Honor Code office has been infiltrated. What if they've become the enforcing arm of the Pragmati? Oh my. This is getting better all the time, said Curses. Oh my, yes, said Raph as she rested her head on the back of the couch. And maybe those who continue to dare the dream, like yourself, asked Curses, like myself, are turned over to the Honor Code office to be dealt with and dismissed. Yikes, said Curses. You guys will never get this produced on campus if you're accusing the Honor Code office of secret combinations. Dave looked at her. Are you saying you're Pragmati? Refs smile, girls smile when they think they're being naughty. Maybe. Curses. Now I'm really yikesing. Ref turned to him. Okay, Texas boy, what's your major? Communications? Exactly. And you, Dave? English. You know that. I did, but I'm proving a point. The Pragmati have won us all over. We're not in our most majoriest of majors. I should be with a musician and a writer right now, not a communicator and an Englisher. Sellouts. Right, but see, we're writing a play. It's rebellion against the Pragmati, following our dreams, etc. We've started living our dream. Oh, I gotcha. Ref put her feet up on the hot chocolate table. I just read an article that said Christian death metal is rebellion against our secular society. Did it have a pie chart? Asked Curses. No. Never believe anything in a magazine that does not have an accompanying pie chart. Dave sighed and turned to Curses. Sometimes it was so hard to hold a serious conversation with him in the room. Curses, you're crazy. Me? Curses? Crazy? Curses are they? Crazy? Curses? Do you see anyone else here named Curses? No, but, curiously enough, there is another Curses on campus. She's from Jamaica. Really? Ref asked. Maybe. So you made it up. No, her name is Curses Maybe. Really? She asked again. Sure. I don't believe you. Well, you may be right, Curses conceded. She may be graduated by now. Anyway, said Dave, putting equal emphasis on the any and the way, this isn't Christian death metal, but, Mormon rock opera. And besides, it's not rebellion. Rebellion is petty and childish. This is art and education. Whatever you say, of course, said Ruff. What do you call it? Madame Pragmati? What? No, it's called Byuck. A rock opera. What's Byuck? It's like BYU, only it's Byuck. I don't get it. Dave looked at Curses and Curses shrugged. No one does, said Dave. Then why are you calling it something no one gets? Dave opened his mouth a few times. Finally he said, Simple Faith. Chapter 2. Stanis Blatuski Jr. I can't believe I don't have to work today, said Dave, over his bowl of not as exciting as they sound really nutritious Snuggalos. Why? It's a national holiday. Curses cut up his sausage with the plastic knife he had kept from his last Wendy's run. You know, I believe this sausage has the exact same diameter as a dime. It also stinks. Where do you find that stuff? You're a Texan. Why can't you just eat normal, hearty Texan sausages rather than that stinky stuff? Anyway, I usually have to work on national holidays. That's what you get for calling people on the phone for a living. Besides, this stuff's cheaper. It's authentic Filipino sausages. Says who? You've never been to the Philippines. It's not like I'm selling stuff and just doing surveys. I did serve my mission in Hungary, though, and there is a secret subterranean tunnel that connects the mission homes in Budapest and Manila. We had food exchanges. Dave drank the last of the milk from his bowl before answering. Would you be this nuts if your parents named you a nice healthy name like John? Probably. I have an Uncle John, and he's as crazy as the day is long. I can say someone is as crazy as the day is long because I'm from Texas. Don't mess with Texas, thumb. I won't, thank you, and it's them, not thumb. Not them. The TH of the first of the vowel of the latter. And I know you know that you know.